getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Friday. Good afternoon and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app, and worldwide on YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, local on television, Fox 34 News Now. Alongside Taylor Beadles, I'm Chois Woodman. Ben Portman across the way taking care of us. You can also join the conversation. Thoughts, comments, questions, a little bit of everything. Welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app anywhere with you. Even listen in if you're out in Climax, Colorado.
My mom let me know on Wednesday that she was watching. I didn't know you could watch now on the app.
Yes, you can watch on the app.
Yeah, I didn't know that. She said, so don't pick your nose. Was
That's
her
great.
advice.
That's great. Where's your mom live?
Her and my dad were driving somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the road between here and I can't remember where. They were going on a trip with some friends, but I can't remember where.
See, I'm not just pumping out smoke there. It's real. You can actually listen and watch on our mobile app. If you are watching right now, you see a bright yellow jersey to our right of
the Scottish Power Celtic.
I like it.
For a second, I thought that was Brazil.
I tried to get around. Like when they say you got to wear a collared shirt.
He's got the collar on.
Yeah. So
I actually think soccer jerseys, some of them work with collars. I don't like the France ones.
Yeah.
With the collars.
See, France has done good collared ones in the past. Yes. And so this year was disappointing.
I did not like it.
Yeah.
It was like a half collar, if I remember.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like a.
I ordered a 98 France one yesterday that has a collared one on it.
There are certain teams I just can't, like, even if I like a player or something, I'm just not. France is one of the only countries I would do that with.
Okay.
I'm like, you guys are a bunch of weenies over there. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I enjoyed my time there.
You want an early dad joke? Of course you do.
Yeah.
What do you call
10,000
men with sunburnt armpits?
I have no idea.
The French army.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I got you.
Had to take a shot there.
All right.
Take that, Mbappe. He didn't care. We'll talk a little bit of everything today. Y'all bring in your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Steer the ship wherever you want it to go. Yates Flooring Center chat line open to you through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. We will talk Red Raiders, everybody's ranking position groups and this and that, and Phil Steele's got his rankings out, so we'll go through some of those. Some are just very strange on the Phil Steele. I know Phil Steele has a lot of his name's out there pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that good of a magazine, honestly.
It's never been my go-to.
I like Pick Six previews. Mm-hmm. They're pretty good and thorough. I think there's some good ones. Obviously, Dave Campbell's for Texas football.
That's probably my go-to.
The best.
Yeah.
But man, Phil Steele, it just feels like it for one guy, and I know there's more than one, but it's pretty well one guy to try to cover 138 teams in college football. It's just too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
So
and it shows.
He's guessing a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
As you and I would if you're trying to stretch yourself too thin. So, but we'll go through them and tell you where he has the Red Raiders on each list. I mean, Tech's top 25 or so in just about every single position group on his list, which is good, but not much higher than that on most. So
that's something like when you think about social media and very specialized media even. Yeah. Like we're never going to read basically anybody's preview of Texas Tech and think like, that's a good job. Even if they're complimentary, I think we would still read it and be like, well, that's not right, or that guy's not going to contribute. What is this? Or he totally forgot about this guy. Like I think it's I kind of noticed that. I bought a World Cup preview magazine just for fun. And even then, like some of the countries, obviously some of them I have no idea. Like, they were talking about, I don't even know.
Turks and Caicos.
Sure, yeah.
They weren't in that.
No, but or Cape Verde.
Yeah, I was about to say that's one you could actually use.
Yeah, and so I was like,
Cabo Verde. So
I was reading that like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But then I would read, Spain or Argentina, one that I do know a lot about, and I was like, I don't know about that. And so then I started thinking like, so I'm taking them for gospel on Cape Verde because I don't know anything about them. So, and I was questioning some of their Argentina ones. Like, so, who even knows? They could be getting those wrong. But since I don't know anything about them, I'm just like, yep, sure. Sounds good.
Yep. Makes sense. But so we will get some outside opinions. And that's what it is. Yeah. It's outside opinions. The outside opinion I trust the most is the people out in the desert. Because they're the experts that don't have any sort of, vested interest except for making money.
Yeah.
So I am curious. I was talking to a buddy this morning. I am curious. Could Texas Tech, and this is a question for anybody out there, could Texas Tech go 12-0 this season and not be a top 4 seed?
Yeah. I think so.
I think that's possible for 2 reasons. Your schedule,
and
which again, strength of schedule is a crap metric. Strength of record's a better one. I mean, we're going to sit there and tell us all these SEC teams.
That's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strength of schedule is based off of people's opinions before a season.
Yeah.
It's not based off of anything else.
That's what's so annoying about the wins over ranked teams, too.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so like those are you could have two teams could have the exact same number of wins over ranked teams, or one could even have more.
Sure.
But it's just like, okay, well, let's look at it 6 weeks from then.
Oregon got a win over Penn State early.
Yeah,
and that counts as a ranked team.
Yeah, exactly.
And that team didn't end up in a bowl game.
Yeah, that's also a ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing. Anyway, so Texas Tech could go 12-0 this year and end up hosting a game in Lubbock.
That's what I wanted last year.
I actually think this is the best case scenario outside of being like a 1 seed.
Totally agree.
If I would prefer that. At this point.
I wanted it last year. That's ideal.
Last year you went 11-1 and were a 4 seed. I think you're right. The last year, the perception tiebreakers will go against Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. So basically, your resume was very similar to Oregon's last year, but you beat teams up worse. So I think that's what probably gave you the nod to get the 4 seed, and Oregon got the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
In retrospect, we would have liked that flipped.
Yeah.
Because Oregon got a tune-up game on the way to playing you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that last year. But I also do wonder, residual bias against the Red Raiders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much does that factor into anything this year?
I don't know how it couldn't.
Because it does feel like there's hatred across the sport.
Yeah.
So when there's a chance, I'm not saying there will be obvious omissions or anything like that, but when there's a chance,
when you can,
to break ties or slight the Red Raiders, move them a couple slots down from what they actually should be.
Yep.
I don't think that's a fantasy at all.
Nope.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy to be part of your Friday afternoon. It's the Bottom Line. 100.7 Score and the 100.7 Score mobile app. Chois, Woodman, Taylor, Beadles here in the First United Bank studio. Appreciate all you joining in. We'll read some more from the Yates Flooring Center chat line here in a moment. I did forget to mention one thing for the Tech Duke game. The reason the Michigan game was off was because of disagreements on broadcast rights.
Oh, okay.
Okay, do you remember an announcement about, I don't even remember when it came out, but that Duke will have, I think, 3 games where they have the exclusive rights. These are not within the ACC rights. Duke has the rights on Prime Video.
Okay.
So that's what this will be for Tech.
On Prime. Okay.
It'll be Prime. So if you don't have Prime subscription, then borrow a buddy's for December 21st.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, like, Tech is not playing this game for free. You're not getting nothing out of this.
No.
But what's your percentage cut? If this is a Duke deal with Prime, are you getting 20% of the cut on this? Are you getting... I'm just very curious, like, what the payout. Is this a buy game where...
And I wonder, too, if...
paying Tech $500,000 to go to Madison Square Garden and play the game?
It could be something like that. And I also wonder, with Michigan saying no... Not that Duke was necessarily desperate, but it wasn't their first choice. So it's like, hey, we need this to work, so we'll pay you a little more, like just to make sure we get this.
Sure.
Like you played last year, it was a good game. We know your fans will show up. Blah blah blah. Like I do wonder if Michigan falling out might have kind of given Tech a little leverage there.
As it sits right now for Tech basketball on July 24th, you've got your weakest roster and your strongest schedule that you've had in quite some time.
I do not get it.
I think you're going to end up with a load of guys, maybe a couple of guys that are fifth-year guys.
But if that doesn't happen,
I just think that's what's
going to happen. You may not
make
the tournament.
I think JT Toppin, if he's playing a really good chunk of your conference season, JT Toppin and the three guards that you have are enough to get you to the tournament.
Maybe.
But we've been accustomed to a 6 seed or better for several years now. You may be floating around an 8 or 9 seed.
Last year, I felt like they were a little caught off guard. Last portal cycle, I should say. I felt like they were a little caught off guard with the money. Not that Tech doesn't have the money, but I think they were a little caught off guard with what people were asking for and then what other schools were willing to pay.
Yeah.
And so they missed out on some guys that they probably, if they would have realized where the market was, they would have been like, okay, we would have paid that if we would have known what we paid the replacement, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I think they missed out and they kind of slow played and they got burned because we talked about this on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. As fun as last year's team and as good as they were still
thin.
Short.
Yep.
And then this year was like, did you not learn anything last year? It feels worse.
I just believe the market was too tall, basically. I think it was too high for especially bigs.
Yeah.
The numbers we saw were between $5 and $7 million for a lot of these guys that last year would have been worth $2 or $3 million.
So do you think, not that Tech basketball is poor by any means, but do you think there's almost been a shift in donors focusing more on football? Because I would say in the past, Tech basketball, comparatively, was probably the most
top 10, 15 money roster.
It doesn't feel that way now.
I do not think you're there right now. No, I don't. Again, things can shift. You can grab Darian Williams. You can end up with a couple of guys that end up making this roster look a lot better. Really, two solid players would make this roster look completely different.
Yeah.
Two solid bigs.
Like if you ended up with that UCF forward with the rumor and then with Darian.
You're looking completely different.
Yes. Because those two are multi-positional enough to you can...
And it bridges the gap some more before you get to JT.
Because that was the worst part about the Toppin injury is it basically screwed 2 seasons. Because nobody was going... You weren't going to be able to allocate enough resources to bring in somebody who is as good as JT.
Correct.
Because that person then knows, well, JT's coming back.
That's a first-team All-American guy. Yeah.
And so, those two guys, though, bridge that gap well enough. And then if you do something crazy like add Donovan Atwell back, which has also been rumored, that's just...
That would be nuts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of that, your roster's still thin, but this is the best non-conference. Fans have asked, make it tougher, make it better.
Yeah.
It's still not excellent home, though Illinois is coming to love it, which is great.
Yeah.
You've got that. You've got the tournament in Las Vegas. What are we calling this? Players era.
That's right.
Where you're going to play a handful of power. You're guaranteed 3 games and mostly against power opponents. You could even face a Big 12 opponent, by the way.
Oh, really? Who else is in there?
Iowa State is in Tech's side of the bracket.
Okay.
So I think you could end up facing Iowa State, but it wouldn't be until the semifinals.
Okay.
And then you could face another Big 12 team in the finals.
Yeah.
So there's that. You've already got the USC game at Dickies Arena.
Yeah.
And
Which I like doing that. Even though it's not a home game. Like, I like that so much better than the Baylor home and home. Just because football's games feel so much more valuable than basketball ones.
Fair, yeah. But that's the 13th of December, and now you got the Duke game. So you're pretty loaded up in the non-conference. You're not going to have any weak strength of schedule when it.
It is definitely the best that it's been.
Yeah. Okay, the other news that I was ignorantly neglecting. This was not on purpose. I just hadn't hopped on ESPN yet.
I thought it was.
You thought it was on purpose. Oh, hey, LeBron. He finally made his decision.
Now we can make the NBA schedule, which that is in and of itself is amazing to me, where the commissioner of a league is like, you're like, please, because we need to make our schedule.
We got to hold up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he signs with Philly.
LeBron James is heading to the Philadelphia 76ers in what he calls his last decision. He says, I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I needed more time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I'd played my last game. I don't know if I believe it.
No, I definitely don't believe that.
I was honest at the last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide if I love this game. I still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have been really special. I have never been able to have no clue what to do and take real time to just think. I've had an incredible few months with all the people. I love trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can make the 76ers championship team, and I'm so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love. The Northeast and Ohio will always be home.
What's interesting about that to me is there was about a month last year, which as much as it hurts my Mavericks fan heart, where Luka was healthy, Austin Reeves was healthy, and LeBron, he was healthy. And like Luka was playing MVP level, like we're familiar with as a Mavericks fan. And LeBron realized it and was like, all right, my role is not number one guy anymore. Like, I am here to facilitate to two other guys. And it was pretty awesome to watch. And then, so, now he's going to a spot where it's similar, like Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid winning if he plays, and then Jaylen Brown, where he kind of has the same role. Like, and I don't know if there's anybody better at it than him, just kind of putting guys on the spot they need to be and getting them the ball. So it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting, absolutely. I'd said this to you off air. He did sign a 2-year deal on this, by the way.
Okay.
$8 million deal. Really cheap.
Yeah.
2-year, $8 million deal with a player option. So he says this is
that's his thing. He always does. He always signs like 1-and-1s, or he has the past few times. He says it's his last. I told you if, like, off air, if he had any sort of, sense on self-image, if he really cares about that image, I think he would have finished in Cleveland. Yeah. Like,
just to make it full circle. It
would have been cool.
But to add a fourth team, he's getting closer to Kevin Durant than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. And he probably knows that at this point.
Yeah.
But who would want to play with James Harden? It's hard to blame him for that.
I think if he would have gone to Cleveland, it would have been James. And, by the way, get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, TheSportsNetwork.com, Double T Sports Network, or 100.7 The Score mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. And on television, Fox 34 News Now. I'm on YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, whichever way you're taking us in, 950 on your AM dial. We appreciate you hanging with us on this Friday. It's Taylor Beadles sitting to my right. I'm Chois Woodman. Ben Porman across the way taking care of us. Y'all keep hitting us up. You got thoughts, comments, questions? Bring them all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I did a deep dive into Mississippi State football for no apparent reason.
And we're all very appreciative.
They have not... there's teams that have kind of lucked into where they're at.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, this is one of my passion projects.
It's like Rutgers.
Yes, Vandy.
Look what money you're making, Vandy. Yes. Mississippi State is probably one of the ones that doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
In the Southeastern Conference. I don't know. I'm not saying they're just a terrible program or anything like that, but
they've had just...
They should probably be mentioned more in the vein of Vandy and Kentucky.
It's basically like, thank you, Dak, for our few moments of relevance recently.
There's quite a bit of Dan Mullen in there. Yeah. He wasn't bad. He's just right in the middle. All right, y'all continue to bring in thoughts, comments, questions, reactions of any and all sort on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
Sorry.
No,
that is why, like, we talk about conferences and the Power 2 and then everybody else, and it's like I would be totally okay with that if you did some retraction. Like if you want to get Michigan State, Rutgers, Maryland, Vandy, Mississippi State, if you want to get them out of there and you want to say, yes, we are clearly the better conferences than everybody else, sure. Like I would be like, you know what, you're right. Like I can't argue that, But until that happens, that's why I have a really hard time with that argument.
Yes. Yeah. If they want to actually make the conferences, actually make them, your top 32 teams or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. It's a lot different than where it sits right now. There's plenty of teams that is like, you don't.
Purdue. Like I know Purdue has had success, but
right.
Not anytime recently.
The consistency there. You've also told me your passion projects is the black bear, too.
Avoiding them.
Oh, okay. No, you haven't said that. No. Did you see the bear on the power pole?
I did. My wife sent me that yesterday.
Oh, my gosh.
They have a very sad update to that story.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to necessarily bum everybody out, but... I mean, this thing is...
It's in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, so this is in an area of New Mexico where they don't normally have bears.
I've heard about this. They haven't had very much snow, and so the bears, like the creeks have dried up, and so they're having to go into... Because I've heard like Santa Fe has had more bear sightings than they have in years because they have to come into town because there's not as much water.
Foraging for food. Yeah. So this is it's very interesting. There's a bear that climbed up a wooden... basically telephone pole, got all the way to the top, and there's a video someone took of him just sitting on his belly panting up there.
I've made a terrible mistake.
This is like, it's like, holy moly. This is, and who knows, maybe he's just trying to get away from people or a car or something. So he's like, I'm going to climb up. Bad mistake by the bear, ultimately being a fatal mistake.
Yeah, not great.
You ever seen those videos of birds getting zapped by electricity on?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
YouTube that.
Okay. I can do that.
It's like disintegrates.
Oh, wow.
It's something.
All right.
Anyway, so, I don't know. There's no video of the bear getting zapped, but apparently that's how he went. This is in rural New Mexico. If you know where Clayton is and Springer, way up north, it's on the road between those two.
I was about to say, it looks like on the road where you, like, if you're getting to Colorado, it looks like one of those roads.
So this is like where I like back in Dumas, we'd drive to Angel Fire Taos to go skiing.
Yeah.
And this is the road we would take.
Okay.
And it would be shocking to see a bear. Basically 70 miles from where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So poor bear. Hopefully he's living his good bear afterlife. I saw that and thought that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
We got an update, or we didn't get an update. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but, whenever it fits your narrative, we're good. There's a guy named Cole Hudson that's playing for the Texas Longhorns.
Yeah.
We literally have the SEC spoon-feeding Heather Dinich what to say at SEC Media Days. And she is mentioning Texas Tech as the reason the NCAA can't enforce anything.
So crazy.
No. I mean, we've literally got it going on in your own conference, Mr. Sankey.
Yeah.
Cole Hudson, because it fits well for the Longhorns, he has played 48 games over 4 years. Played in 48 games. He went through the NFL draft process. Attended multiple NFL rookie mini camps. And now he'll waltz back into college football.
Crazy.
Because there's a temporary restraining order. I don't have a problem with this because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the steroid era.
Yeah.
So, everybody's doing it. Oh, well. My issue is the holier-than-thou attitude everywhere else.
That's where it especially from Sark.
Me. Yes.
Because like Sark was leading that campaign. So ultimately, though, like let's say like we were talking about, Tech gets clearance, or I should say the players get clearance, the basketball players, to get that 5th year.
Sure.
There will be stuff out there about Texas Tech is at it again.
For sure.
And so I don't want to hear it when they're doing the same thing in Austin.
Yes.
I didn't see anybody threatening to boycott playing them with should be an eligible player. Didn't see any of that. And I know people will say like, well, the gambling is the thing there. And it was like, well, you can draw the line wherever you want to draw the line.
That's not what was cited by Heather Dinich on ESPN.
Yeah.
Not the gambling.
Yeah.
What was cited is that the NCAA can't police its own. They can't govern their own entity.
Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. They're saying they can't enforce rules. So why would we be in the NCAA? They're not enforcing rules here. You're breaking their rules by going through a court system.
Crazy.
Everybody's doing it. Everybody is. If you can gain a competitive advantage, there is not a single school out there. If they can get a player, now there may be lines with like the Alabama player pulling from the G League, but if you can get a player like a Darian Williams or like a Cole Hudson in this situation that will make your team better, teams and coaches are doing it. Yeah. No one's taking a moral high ground on it.
Nope.
No one's sitting there like, we can't do that. That would be bad for the sport. But the hypocrisy and just oozing everywhere is just sickening.
That's basically the best word to describe college sports right now. And that kind of sucks.
It does suck. Which is why I just cannot wait to fast forward 43 days and spot the ball.
Yes.
Let's go play some football, because that's when this all minutia goes away. Is when it's, at least it takes a back seat at least.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy to be part of your Friday afternoon. Hanging out with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. I'll have a question of the day. I'm actually going to steal one that someone gave us for the Ask Level podcast. Okay. So it's no full-on plagiarism, being transparent. We'll have that in about 15 minutes. Taylor will have our Tell Me I'm Wrong statement later in the program. On3 put out a Big 12 preview. Just basically everything you can think of. Toughest schedules, top quarterbacks in the Big 12. We went through some of that yesterday. Best transfers. It's just kind of got everything in there. I'm honing in on a couple of areas for this particular one. By the way, they had in their power rankings and best bets, Texas Tech topped.
Good.
Both of those lists. Yeah, I'm not surprised there. But specifically for this, the toughest schedules was an interesting thing looking at the Big 12 as a whole. Who do you think has the toughest schedule according to this?
I would almost lean BYU just for that Notre Dame game, and they play Utah.
BYU didn't make their top 5. It was tied for 5th. Sorry.
All right.
I think that's the only thing. BYU doesn't catch.
And I don't know their schedule.
Texas Tech. Yeah.
But they catch Utah, I assume. I guess I don't even know.
BYU does play Utah. They don't play Texas Tech, and I don't believe they face K-State.
Is it one of the Arizona schools?
I'm trying to see when. Pulling their schedule back up. Yeah, they play Arizona the second game of the year. I forgot about that.
Oh, I mean, this is the toughest. I'm trying because I would imagine
the toughest one.
It's whoever plays Tech and BYU.
They've got Colorado as the toughest schedule.
Okay, well, and I definitely don't know or care really about their schedule. So.
Remember, they have 2 Power 4 opponents.
Yeah, and they play us.
Yeah, Trent and I yesterday, his tell me I'm wrong was that the Big 12's won't win half, won't even get to half of or get to 500 on the win total against the non-conference. And unfortunately, when we look through it, I think he's right.
Oh, no.
I hope that's not the case.
I haven't looked through that.
But
that would be. I
think you only have 12 teams that play power opponents.
Yeah.
Colorado does it twice, and that's
not a good start.
One of your worst teams.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech and Northwestern both being on the road. So there's that. Colorado also has to play Tech, Utah, K-State, and Houston.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So they've got the toughest schedule. The number 2 schedule, and I think I agree with this, is TCU. TCU's schedule, I think, call this a tell me I'm wrong if you want. I think TCU goes 7-1 to start the season.
Whoa.
And ends up 8-4 at best.
Okay. Let's see. Let me look at TCU's schedule.
They've got North Carolina in Dublin.
Oh, that's right.
They've got that one in the week 0.
Yeah.
And they got Grambling and Arkansas State. I think they're 3-0 during that stretch.
Oh, you think they beat BYU?
No, I think that's their one loss.
Oh, sorry. Google had this weird. Okay.
They had it out of order.
Yeah.
No, North Carolina, Grambling, and Arkansas State. Okay. I think they start off 3-0. They play at UCF. I'd still have the Horny Toads winning that one. Then they lose to BYU in Fort Worth, though it could be a close one. I think they could lose to Baylor just because that's a weird game.
Yeah.
Rivalry. But I probably wouldn't put it that way. They'll beat West Virginia. They'll beat Kansas. So that's a 7-1 start.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I don't think they're good enough to just say they'll beat West Virginia and they'll beat Kansas. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're good enough.
Do you think Kansas is going to be anything? Because I have them in my bottom 2.
I mean, as much as I used to really like Leipold, and now I hate him, obviously.
I really wanted to. Sorry, I'm not trying to
you're good.
Hijack this real quick. I really wanted to send Brennan, our youthful guy, to drop my pocket knife next to Lance Leipold at,
that would have been
at Media Days and just say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and pick it up. I film that.
Would have loved that.
I wanted to. Yeah. No, I couldn't get anybody else on board for it.
Oh man, you should have done that.
I think I would. I wanted to do it myself too.
That would have been awesome.
I was like, well, okay, we'll go buy a fake knife at Walmart. That way, it's not as bad.
Because then, if he would have laughed about it, I would have been. Maybe.
Yeah. Then you're like, okay, you're laughing at yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I wanted to do it. Yeah. No one was on board.
Man, that's unfortunate. But I think he's a good football coach still.
I think so, but man, it's taking a dip. They're going downhill.
Definitely, yes.
So
definitely,
that's fair. But
I think Rich Rod has turned over that roster. I think he does a good. I guess what this comes down to is I think that they both of those coaches are better coaches than Sonny. And so it's like that's why I don't think it's necessarily guaranteed.
So I think they start 7-1, and I think there's a real chance they lose the last 4 of the year.
Yeah.
At Arizona, K-State's probably leans towards TCU and Fort Worth, but they could lose that one. Utah In Fort Worth, I'd have them losing that one, and then obviously in Lubbock on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we can only hope.
So
that's a loss.
If you go 0-4 in the last 4 games of the year, Sonny is hot seat heading into the next year. He's not getting canned, but it would be that feeling going into the offseason would be because the hope of a 7-1 start, we've experienced it.
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
7-0 start.
Yeah,
Cliff. Yeah,
I also think that that relationship has always been weird. Like I don't think TCU fans have ever really liked him, and so I think they would be quick to jump at getting rid of him.
One of the questions we asked the other day was, which team do you feel like you have pegged, like this team is this the most in the Big 12 outside of Texas Tech? Because I think that's probably the easiest answer. And which team are you having the most trouble putting your finger on? Like, this is where this team is going to be. Who do you think is – like, it could be Iowa State at the bottom.
Yeah. I do feel
confident in that.
I feel pretty confident in that. And I feel pretty confident Houston's not going to be as good as everyone thinks they are.
Interesting. Okay.
I think they had a lot of schedule luck last year. I don't know. I don't think their roster is quite as good as everyone is making it out to be. Like I think Tech will beat them pretty easily.
Hope you're right.
But so I feel pretty confident in that. I feel pretty confident that Arizona State is going to be better than ever. Like it would not surprise me at all if Arizona State is who we play in the Big 12 title game and not BYU.
Okay.
And honestly, everyone outside of that, I'm pretty much just like,
I don't know.
Yeah. I have a feeling Baylor's going to be bad.
See, and that's the team I can't figure out. And so much of it hinges on DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
Because there's a good version of Lagway we saw 2 years ago, and there's a poor version last year.
I'm always nervous about guys like Lagway getting coached by guys like wow, my mind just went blank. Aranda. I wanted to say Bruce Arians, but I knew that wasn't it.
No, he would be a lot better off with Bruce Arians.
Just because Lagway is kind of like he's in the mold of a gunslinger, and that's kind of what got him in trouble in Florida. It was almost like a Patrick Mahomes situation. Like he was taking so many risks to try to get his team to win that he looked like a worse quarterback than what he actually was. And so I wonder, like that is not going to jive well under a defensive head coach. And so then I'm just wondering.
Well, think about, who the OC at Baylor is?
Is it still Spavital?
It is still Spavital.
Okay.
What was his brother's name that coached here?
Jake? Or was that his
Jake.
name? Zach?
That's it.
Okay.
Yep. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Sawyer Robertson's been good there.
Yeah.
He was good there. So I don't know. To me, it's about defense. That Baylor defense last year, especially against the run, was Swiss cheese.
So bad.
So that's where the wins and losses come. And I've said this before, but Baylor it feels like the Dave Aranda mantra is when you expect anything out of them, they've been terrible.
Yeah.
When you have low expectations, they've risen above somehow.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So it would not shock me if Baylor was 8-4, but it wouldn't shock me if they went 4-8 this year.
Yeah.
They're the team that I can't peg.
Yeah.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
You're hanging out with the Bottom Line Friday afternoon on 100.7 Score and the 100.7 Score app. Chois Woodman, Taylor, Beadles getting down to the short rows for the week. Y'all continue to bring in any thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll read a few more of those here shortly. Before we do, we got a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, buckle up, Taylor. It's a question I stole from a listener for Ask Global.
Right.
This is basically a 4-part question.
Okay.
But still fairly easy to get. So, what is your biggest area of concern on each side of the ball for Texas Tech in 2026 entering the season, and what makes you the most confident on each side of the ball? Just 4 different answers here.
So, offensively, it's going to be quarterback. And not because of what I think of who Will Hammond is.
Yeah, you're high on Will.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best quarterback in the conference.
Man, you are way high on Will.
Yeah. I could be wrong. There are throws that I just can't get out of my head that I haven't seen anybody else in this conference make. But then there's also some the other way that I'm just like, what were you seeing? But anyway, I always bet on the upside, which has screwed me in the past. And that's just where this is.
As a coach or as an analyst?
Both.
Okay. Okay.
So, but quarterback worries me just because health. Like I'm just now conditioned to be. I think Lloyd Jones will probably take meaningful snaps. That's just where I am. Okay. And so that is just worrisome, just because whenever you don't have your QB1, you should be worried. And right now we did it on Wednesday. It was 2016 the last time Tech made it through a season with one quarterback. It was either 16 or 17. Yeah. Whatever Mahomes' middle season was.
15, I think it was.
Maybe it was 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
16 was his final.
That's right. So that's the biggest worry. I will say, though, we are better conditioned to handle that now. And honestly, maybe that's why they recruited the way that they did.
Possibly.
Because there's so many guys now who can just do things with the ball in their hands, and it doesn't have to be like anybody can throw the passes, to these guys, and then they can make something happen afterwards. Like you almost recruited that a little bit, and then with your running backs, and then defensively, it's defensive line.
Okay,
which may sound weird because I think a lot of people would say that was the strength.
Interesting, but
I am just worried about getting to the passer. I've watched a lot of Trey White. Adam Trigg.
Yep.
I always get the first name swapped.
Yep.
And they are good, solid players. Most years, previously, we would have killed for these two guys. Last year, though, we had two guys who were ridiculous, and so I just worry. Like I think you are stacked at linebacker, and I think secondary might be your defensive strength. Because I legitimately think you have 3 very good corners, 1 shutdown corner, and then I'm not worried about safety like some people seem to be. Like I think Brendan Jordan is good, and I think while maybe unproven, I think you have a ton of talent at safety. But I am worried about your edge rushers getting to the quarterback consistently without help from blitzers. And so that's because Sheil Wood does not like to blitz historically. Like he pretty much just plays base, and he basically dares offenses to take risks because we're not going to give you any openings. And so he doesn't like to blitz. I think he will blitz more this year, just out of personnel and necessity. So that's what I'm worried about. What makes me most confident? I guess I kind of answered it. I think your back 7 is stacked on defense. I think it's very good. And then I think that on offense, I think your skill is it does not have the names, it doesn't have the numbers, and so I could be wrong on this. But watching all the guys they brought in, knowing who's still here, I just see a bunch of guys that can make plays, and I think that's important.
Okay, Ben, most confident?
Starting with most confident?
Sure. Each side of the ball?
Well, obviously there's a lot of answers you could go here across the board, as Taylor was talking about, like every single position. But me personally, the most confident that I'm in is obviously it's hard not to go with the front 7 on the defensive side. Like just given what we saw last year, the legacy that they had and how that can continue after David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez and company now have moved on. But you add in Austin Romaine and obviously the Bash brothers and Mateen Ibirgba and just all those guys from the portal. to carry that on. And then offensively, I said this a couple times either in last week's show or earlier this week, just the versatility of the offense. And you have a caliber tight end like Terrence Carter coming back, and you have another guy, Jet Carpenter, along his side to not only be a good blocker in the run game, but also a great pass catcher, no matter where you position him on the field. And so my confidence is the front seven and just the versatility of the offense with the three-headed monster at running back, and then also how these receivers are just elusive in space, given how they came from their previous schools as kickoff returners, as punt returners, how they're able to, when they catch the ball, they're able to find the open field and just hit the burners. And so what I'm most worried about is, and Taylor mentioned this too, but I fall into that sample size of I'm not so sure of how the safety position opposite Brendan Jordan is going to pan out, because you have Peyton Morgan, you have Malik Esquera, they have upside. It's just a matter of we have yet to see that. And it's the same, to kind of parallel with that, it's like when Brian Schottenheimer joined the Cowboys. We have no idea like what his caliber was going to be. Now we kind of sort of got an answer for that, but that's how I see this safety room. Even though there's a lot of young guys, especially freshmen that they brought in, that have tremendous upside. Like I have so much confidence, even though he's a freshman, but I have a lot of hype for a guy like Donovan Webb and his tenure here. I'm excited to see what he'll bring to the field during his tenure at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm going to overlap with a lot of what you guys are saying. I think lack of experience in the secondary, specifically at the opposite safety side, is where my concern is, because you can't really do a lot of experience. That's it. That's my answer for both. It's the experience there, and it's the experience for Will Hammond as far as areas of concern, because you can't replicate that. You can't simulate it in practice. Guys have got to grow on the job.
Yeah.
And hopefully you're going to have mistakes. Hopefully those are minimal and few. And that by the end of the season, they kind of go away. For where I'm most confident, it's got to lie with that linebacking core.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is one of the best linebacking cores in the country for the second consecutive season. We saw how great they were last year. Yes, you're losing one of the best players you've ever had, Jacob Rodriguez, but I think that it's still going to be solid. Austin Romaine was one of the best linebackers in the Big 12. He would have gotten way more hype had you not had who you had in Lubbock last year.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
So
he would have been the best linebacker in the conference.
He really would have.
Him or Ben Roberts, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's what it would have come down to. I'm not sure you don't have the two best linebackers.
Three if you count Curry, maybe. Yeah,
but yeah, there's no question that those are the best. That's the best group in the Big 12. And then your running game on offense.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm truly confident in the offensive line for the first time in a really long time. Like, confident.
Yeah.
There's been some cautious optimism before.
That's where I am.
But I think you've got some pieces. Sheridan Wilson has been as solid of a center as you're going to find in the nation. And I think age shows up on the offensive line as much as any position in football.
Absolutely.
And you're a year older with Howard Sampson and Jacob Ponton in your tackle positions, so pretty good feelings there.
Yep.
Probably the best since post-Leach.
It feels like it has potential to be, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. And the 100.7 The Score mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. Choice, Taylor, Ben, all with you. And it is that time of day. Time we get to tell Taylor he's wrong. Probably.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was an intro.
No, we missed it.
Okay.
That was it at the beginning.
Okay, we put our headphones in late.
No, we did.
Clint distracted us.
Clint was the distraction.
Yeah, so sorry. My apologies. I think I've thought this for a while. I think it's a little weird that it seems like it's a foregone conclusion that Tech will play BYU in the title game.
Okay.
And so tell me I'm wrong, is Tech will play somebody else besides BYU. And I genuinely
so you're taking the
think
field.
this. Yeah, like I would take Arizona State, probably more like that would probably be who I think it's going to be. But I could see another rematch with like Arizona. We played them in Lubbock, and so it wouldn't surprise me if we played them again. Kind of the same thing that happened with BYU last year. But you're depending a lot on Bear Bachmeier development. And then, it does feel like BYU kind of just grows linemen and, skill. And they just kind of appear. They don't even need to have a big name. But what if that doesn't happen? You're kind of counting on that. So I don't know. That's it. Tech will not play BYU in the conference championship game this year.
I really like this one because, they always tell you this team or the field, you take the field,
right.
Typically. Like this golfer, the field, whatever. That's how they tell you. The smart thing is, now if you're going Texas Tech or the field here, I'm still taking Texas Tech. And especially to play in the Big 12 championship. Yeah. I'm picking BYU to play Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship. We actually asked this question around the building a month ago or so in one of our videos, and I think more than half did not pick BYU, surprisingly. So they're in agreement with you. But since that's my pick, I'll tell you you're wrong, but I don't feel strongly about it.
Yeah.
I could see Utah playing in that game. I'd be a little more surprised, but I could see Houston playing in that game. That's probably about it.
No belief in the Arizona schools?
I like Fafita quite a bit, but I don't know that with their schedule they're going to be able to find their way into the championship. Utah's the next most likely candidate to me because they actually have a favorable schedule too.
They do.
If they beat, to me,
losing Dillingham,
the winner of the
Whittingham is big.
Agreed. The winner of the Utah BYU game is who I think actually ends up playing Tech. They play each other, and I think that's who. So I'll say you're wrong, but with little conviction on it.
I mean, I too fall into that same line of thinking that I feel like BYU is the most what's the term here? Prominent opponent in the Big 12 championship for Texas Tech, even though I do see the likelihood of the field being there, like in Arizona State, possibly Houston, which I personally don't think that Houston's good enough to make it to the Big 12 championship. I did happen to see a take where someone said Kansas State could make it there because of their strength of schedule is nearly identical to Texas Tech, and some additions that they made in the portal as well. And the experience from Avery Johnson and who they added defensively, as well as Colin Klein's first year. But we'll see how Morgan Scalley does in Utah. I do think that they could repeat a record they had last year, if not a little bit better. But I still feel like it's on BYU to repeat that, with Bachmeier now getting the start for his sophomore year, and just who all they got.
I forgot.
On the roster.
I'd seen that same thing about Kansas State, and I'd kind of forgotten it. And their schedule is crazy. I mean, at Cincinnati, host Houston, host Kansas. I guess their toughest game is the next one. At Arizona State, at Colorado, host Oklahoma State, at TCU, host Arizona, at Iowa State.
Yeah.
That's pretty manageable.
K-State, because of that, I would say they're second easiest behind Texas Tech, maybe.
Yeah.
Because of that, I think that coupled with, I think, Avery Johnson and an offense that he fits in, they're a real possibility.
Talk about a cakewalk.
Yeah.
So
at Arizona State is by far their toughest game.
Yes.
That's wild. Okay.
That's one where I think you said Arizona State earlier. Is that?
Their schedule's tough. That's the worst part of I just really like Dillingham. I think he does a good job. They've lost a lot. Even though I do think that quarterback they brought in, I think he's got something. But I mean, they have to they host Kansas State. They have to come here. They have to go to BYU.
Yep.
And they have to go to Arizona. And so,
yeah, I think Arizona State's schedule is what keeps them away from it. I think they probably end up 8-4 or 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
They're close. They're knocking, but I don't know that they can navigate all the way through that.
Yeah.
Now, what hinges for them is Cutter Boley to me.
Yeah.
I don't see what other people are seeing necessarily. I know there's upside and there's potential.
That's what it is. That's all.
But, I mean, he's got basically a 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio at Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
And if you can't make that look better, significantly better in the Big 12 Conference, then Arizona State's not going to have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to have a good defense, but I don't know that the offense is going to be good enough without the likes of Jordan Tyson and others. Jordan Tyson was a huge reason Texas Tech lost that game last year.
Yeah, it drove me absolutely insane.
And Arizona State did get that receiver from Colorado.
Yeah. Though. Miller, right?
Yes, Marion Miller. Yeah. Yep, he's good.
Yep.
So,
Tech
they also lost
him.
a first-round offensive lineman.
Tech wanted him. He just committed early. I think he was going to visit here, but he chose
before he ever came here.
Yeah.
Thomas says, it seems like everyone's high on Arizona State, so I'm going to need y'all to help me understand the hype. Is it just y'all's trust in Dillingham, or did they have a good offseason in the portal?
They did bring in guys, like we just mentioned with Miller and their quarterback, and they're good at – there will be guys in 6 months, 4 months, that we're talking about are good for Arizona State that we don't even know right now. Like, they're good at finding under-the-radar guys. They have been since Dillingham's gotten there. And so they moneyball it a bit, partly because they have to. Dillingham's been pretty open about wanting more funds. But I guess it all comes back to Dillingham, and I think they run good stuff on offense and defense that keeps them in games with a chance to win it at the end, like they did to us, basically.
This texter says the difference will be he's playing against Big 12 defenses. He's talking about Cutter Boley there. Okay. I mean, that's easy. This is our SEC homer, so that's an easy thing to say, but look at what Kentucky played last year. They played Ole Miss. Ole Miss didn't have a very good defense. They were fine, but not great. South Carolina, again, same category. Not that great of a defense. Georgia, really good defense. Texas, really solid defense. But he couldn't even score 13 points on them, or more than 13, and lost when they should have won that game.
I forgot about that game.
Remember that game? Texas should have lost that.
Yeah.
Tennessee, not really a very good defense. But they did hang 34, so not terrible. Auburn, whopping 10-3 win. Florida, not a good defense last year. Like you can spew the same narratives the SEC propaganda machine puts out every year. The SEC is not all about defense like it was 10 years ago. It's not. You will find quality. You'll find better talent, especially in front lines for SEC defenses still. But you're going to still find units that are comparable in the Big 12 Conference to the SEC when we're talking about defenses.
Boley's probably the thing that is most for him is he had to play under Mark Stoops. So who really knows how good he is?
That's probably the most fair point there. Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying with Will Hammond, I would guess Cutter Boley with another year of experience will get better. It's just how much better.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.